and it's gotta be Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's the only thing that's soothing my soul. Turn on the TV to Power Rangers. Now it's morphin' time. I'm ready to go.
Hey guys, this is Jordan Sanders, and I'm here with the Color Commentary crew as they give you views from a different side. And they're going to be talking about my brand new movie, Little. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this movie review. Of course, this is Rashad, owner and founder of Block Band Music and Publishing, a company that gives you music and instruments for marching bands across the nation. Let's talk about this movie. First, we're going to give you a non-spoiler review. So go ahead, Frank. Just your quick thoughts on this movie, man. Non-spoiler review on the movie Little.
You know, Rashad, I really don't know, man. I got some mixed feelings about this movie. You know what? I think it's I think it's worth, like, you know, going to see it. You know what? I'll talk about it later, man. I just got some mixed feelings about it, man. It got me feeling that type of way, man. Sorry about that. I'm just in my emotions right now.
Okay. And Chuck, we know that you don't like to support Black movies, so we know you did. So I'll go ahead and go. I personally love the movie. I thought it was a great movie. I definitely think you should see it. I can't wait to get into the spoiler part in order to take it apart a little bit. But I really enjoyed this movie. So if you, let's see here, if you're watching right now, you've heard our non-spoiler review. Chuck says he's okay. I'm not Chuck. Frank says it's okay. He's got some mixed feelings. Chuck didn't see it at all. You can go that route. I say it's great. I think it's hilarious. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but for me, the comedy really overwhelmed some of the problems with the movie. So if you are here for the non-spoiler review, you can go ahead and cut off your camera now, cut off your YouTube video right now, and go to the theater and watch the movie or not. Because now we're going to get into the spoiler review of the movie. So let's do this. Mr. Frank Tuna, Big Tuna, what's happening, man? What do you think about this movie? Spoiler review. Lay it, all cards on the table.
Oh man, yeah, all right. So going in, man, I was you know, looked up the director and seen that it was Tina Gordon. And I think that's her last name. Let me look at my notes, man, make sure I get the name right. Yeah, Tina Gordon, man. She directed Drumline in 2002, and in addition to Peoples and ATL in 2006. So I was like, all right, let me see what's going on with that. And in addition, it was written by Tracy Oliver, who did Girls Trip, and a couple of movies that's coming out. One movie that's coming out, Son, is also a star. A movie about a Black woman dating an Asian guy. So I was like, hey, I want to see what Little is about. Little, to me, was like off the movie Big that came out in 1988, 89. And I thought, you know, with Tom Hanks, so I was like, hey, this, you know, we got some African-American ladies in this movie, and we got to play off maybe could be considered by some a cult classic movie from the movie Big, and we got a little version of it. And this is a romance fantasy comedy movie. And on the fantasy side, you have this little girl that has this magic wand, and Jordan Sanders gets turned into a little girl. I thought the fantasy side was awesome. On the comedic side, you have Jordan Sanders, played by Regina Hall, being the bad attitude, a CEO, Black woman making a lot of money, has a bad attitude, has been bullied, and getting her revenge on being bullied as a little kid. Now she's an adult, and now she gets to bully all the people who actually didn't pick on her, Rashad, if you really think about it. You know, I think it's like, you know, like Charlie, I don't know, Charlie and I have talked about this before. It might be like the nerd mafia. You know, you get picked on in high school or in middle school, and then, you know, you become this hot shot CEO, and you want to now take your revenge and misdirect your anger on your employees. That's the character that Regina Hall played as Jordan Sanders. Then you had Issa Rae,
She probably
Yeah,
got her apples. She probably got her apples licked in middle school, so now she's licking other people's apples. How about them apples, huh?
I couldn't quite hear you there. We had a little transmission there. Could you say that again?
I said that she probably had her apples licked while she was in middle school, so now she's licking everybody else's apples. You know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the word is clap back. You know, that's the current word these days. She got clapped on, and now she's the one doing the clap back, and ain't she? And boy, was she out for revenge. I mean, the way she carried herself and on a day-to-day basis. I mean, she has no filter. Kids, co-workers, it doesn't matter, man. She slaughters everyone. Then you have Issa Rae, who played April Williams, and she's like a pushover personal assistant, and she go through some emotions, Rashad. Some emotions at work, some emotions in her dating life that I'd love for both of us to expand on a little bit further. And then you have the young version of Jordan, the third superstar, the young version of Jordan, who's played by Marseille Martin, who did an excellent job. I mean, she's also she got executive producer credit for this movie. Mm-hmm. So, in case y'all didn't know about that, I mean, that's pretty good for a young, for a kid her age. That's pretty awesome. And she did an excellent job playing the young version of herself with an adult mind. That was an interesting twist. But I'd like to hear more what you say, and hopefully we can chop more about it one-on-one, more about this movie.
It sounded like everything you said was all good. I didn't hear a single negative thing about what you said, but you said you had some mixed thoughts. Like mixed was good and great.
The mixed thoughts. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of the comedic angles didn't really hit with me. I wasn't busting out laughing, through the movie. I wasn't chuckling a little bit. Even I was even observing the kids in the movie theater. There was quite a few teenage kids ranging from 12 to 17 that I seen in the movie, and there wasn't too many outbursts of laughter. I wouldn't say 12 to 17 because it's a PG-13 movie, but ranging from 14 to 17, it looks like. I didn't really hear too much laughter out of them from my observations. It wasn't, didn't really, they try to get you, but they try to get me, but they didn't get me. On the romance end, I thought that's where the comedic part was, with Issa Rae, being very hot and bothered, she really had a few sets of men that she had her eyes on, but there was no romantic interaction. I guess she's single and available. She made herself available. She let people know that she's about that life, and none of the guys followed up with her, from the school teacher to one of her co-workers and whoever else. Also on the romance side with Jordan Sanders, she had this, I don't know what you would call it, like a Chippendale type of dude. I don't know. She had like a hired stripper that comes down and, help her out with, she had some mixed feelings with her boy toy, for lack of a better phrase there. So the romance side was pretty cool. But you know what, Rashad, the part that really, really, and it might seem petty and it may seem superficial, but the main part that I'm following with this movie is the fantasy part. We got the romance, comedy, the fantasy. The fantasy is the magic wand. Where did that girl get that magic wand from, man?
She got it from Hogwarts.
And as soon as Issa Rae knew that girl could do something with that magic wand, as an adult, I would have never gave her back that magic wand. Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead and wish that this girl found this. I never knew that this magic wand existed, and and I'm just gonna make a wish on that, and that wand gonna be mine because she a little kid. But there needs to be a whole entire storyline that was missing from me on how this kid found this magic wand. And this kid, Rashad, this kid has a magic wand that could defeat Thanos. Do you hear me here? Thanos. Well, that's where I'm at. So
no. She couldn't defeat Thanos because Doctor Strange said that was the only way. It was the only way.
You know,
When he looked at 16, when he looked at 14,605 different ways of defeating Thanos, he obviously looked at the little girl with the wand and was like, "No, they ain't gonna work."
the wand ain't gonna work. That wand ain't gonna do it. But yo, hey, for a wand that could do something like that, if you make that girl mad, she's pretty mature with wielding that power, you know, for a young kid. But yeah, I think there need to be a spinoff or a sequel to her and that magic wand, because if she keeps that magic wand around, and they gave it back to her, they took it, you know, they fought that wand for a second. I thought it was gonna break or something, but they gave it back to her. And that's the end of that. But yo, it will be a great movie to see what goes on with that magic wand and that young lady. I want to keep a closer eye on her future. I'll tell you that much. But I want to hear what you got to say.
Okay. Well, Chuck, what do you have to say about this movie that you didn't see? Didn't seem like you had much to say at all. So I'll go ahead and take it here. Let's see here. But I thought the movie was hilarious. I really enjoyed it. Regina Hall's performance at the beginning was way over the top, and I thought her being so over the top, I thought it was going to be bad. But it was so funny. Like, it was so ridiculous, the things that she was doing, like licking people's apples, smacking people in the head. The funniest thing that she did when she said, "If we don't get this deal, there ain't gonna be no more ergonomic chairs," and she pushed the girl around the corner. I know that I could just see when they were laughing on set when she did it, because it was just ridiculous. Oh boy. But I thought it was funny. I really liked the dual messages of the movie, because it wasn't just about trading places between young and old Jasmine. It was actually Jordan, excuse me. It was Jordan and the assistant, April, who switched places as well. You see, Jordan learned how not to push people away. And we also learned why she did that. We learned that she attacked people before they would attack her, based off of her experiences in middle school. Which reminds me, I actually missed like the first 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes of the movie. So I remember she was at the hospital. What happened there?
Oh yeah, let me give you a rundown on that. So young Jordan had a presentation going on stage, and she's standing on this platform. She's doing a science physics presentation. She has this big, like, it looks like a big giant, you know, one of those punching bags you punch real fast, one of those. You just, one of those where you just stand and punching them. Well, she had like a big version of that, and she's like swinging it like a pendulum, like she's like throwing it, you know, like basically like pushing it across the stage. And she's basically saying, like, basically through the laws of physics, when she pushes this gigantic bag with a certain amount of force, it's not going to come back and hit her. Well, one of the bullies, which I think it was a school cheerleader as well, one of the bullies, before I get to that part, so she pushes the boxing bag, and it goes across the stage a little bit into the crowd, and it comes back to her and it doesn't hit her. So when it swings back, the bully girl catches it. You know, the camera pans to the bully girl, she catches it, and then she's like, exerts a whole lot of force, and you know, it basically pushes it in the back in the direction of young Jordan. Well, young Jordan is standing on a platform that's probably made out of boxes, something very light, or some blocks that are very light. Okay. And basically the bag hits Jordan, and Jordan just flies to the back of the stage. And I was like, so at one point in time, it was the greatest moment of her life. She had her scholastic life where she proved one of the laws of physics. The bully comes in, interrupts all that. Now it becomes one of the worst days of her life. Now, the next scene is when she's at the hospital, and her parents say, "Hey, it's okay. One day you'll be able to get them back, basically through success. Don't worry about it." And the funny thing about that part was, like, as a parent, I'm ready to sue the school. I'm ready to sue the parents. Where is this kid? None of that. They're just walking her. And that's when you walked in the movie. That's when you saw her in a body cast, all messed up. And basically, young Jordan at that point is vowing for revenge.
Gotcha. Okay, so I need to jump on one of those online places when the movie becomes available, because for whatever reason, for all the black movies, they're not available online. So you got to go to the theater. I don't know what it is. I guess they know us. They know that when it comes to black people supporting black people, you have to force us to do it. We'll do it very well. We're forced to do it. Anyway, like I said, we learned a lot about Jordan. Thank you for that, Frank. We learned a lot about Jordan, why she was, But we also learned with April, she had a transformation as well. You know, she learned that she had to become more like Jordan. She had to become more fierce and learn how to stand up and take command. And I thought that was cool. They both had that transition. I love the social worker, because the social worker gave as good as she got. Talking about you and your goofy aunt, and talking about you got to enroll this child in school or somebody's going to jail. And April was like, by somebody, do you mean? She's like, no, I'm talking about you. That was great. I love the entertaining sections, like the part where they're singing, you know, time on my hands since you've been away, boy. Like that was funny to me. It could easily take you out of the movie because you're wondering like, why is this happening? But it was entertaining. So, you know, I equate that kind of to the part in Big where they're dancing on the piano. You're like, okay, why are they doing that? You know, but it just gave you a little entertaining section. It wasn't a perfect movie. Frank, my biggest problem with this movie, man, what the heck is up with the marching band, bro? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, this is a complete insult to me. I mean, you see, I got trombone over here. Let me tell you something. Bands, marching bands do not play backup for talent shows. What is that? I kick the music, and the band is back there doing something. No, play the radio. That's how that works. But the band doesn't play the background music for the talent show. That's stupid and ridiculous. Whoever told you that, I'm completely insulted. Anyway.
Can I chime in on one thing that I was insulted on? I wouldn't say it was an insult, but what about the kid that stutters? He couldn't even, like, I don't know, it was some of the child acting. Children are precious. I'm all about the children. Frank is always for the children. Okay. But I mean, like that one kid, I don't know his name. I tried to find his name. I couldn't find him, but the stuttering kid, like, he was horrible at stuttering. He was just like repeating what he just said before. He didn't have a speech impediment. You know, like, you know, it was just horrible. It's like, either you get a kid that really has a speech impediment and pay the kid to act in this movie.
Just make fun of his actual. That's hilarious.
Or just not have a kid that has a speech impediment at all. You know, or at least have a kid that can perfect, you know, like if you're going to stutter, like, I mean, like actually go through the acting of stuttering, you know, like, I mean, it's not something to laugh at or anything like that, but it's just like, why have a kid that stutters when he can't even stutter right? Wow. You know, this is like,
you are terrible.
I say, yo, get it.
Terrible.
It was horrible.
I have a question since for you guys. Is this a adult movie or a kid movie?
It's a PG-13 movie. I mean,
PG-13
movies, I like that. You know, they have some inappropriate things. You know, a lot of, like, when you watch movies like Superbad or 100 other PG-13 movies, you know, they have some suggestive stuff in there sometimes, because this is how teenagers are. So I didn't have a problem with the things that were saying.
So if you got a kid, you know, around that middle school age, there's not very many provocative. Because on the previews, it's hard to really tell. I mean, I see a dude basically genuine on top of the building, you know, with his shirt off, and then I see, you know, a little girl that's, you know, what 12? Like, oh yeah, looking them up and down and stuff. It's like, that's a little, I don't know, it has some little strange moments, at least with some of the previews. So I was wondering.
See, I'm gonna call you out just like I called Frank before the show. See, you just being sexist is all this. You are being sexist. Let me tell you why. Because in all these movies with the boys, there's always some hot teacher with big old boobs, and the boys like, oh my God, did you see what Mrs. Johnson has on today? You know what I mean? And you always, you know, oh, she's so hot, she's so fine. So that stuff is fine, but all of a sudden when it's a little girl,
boys, okay,
like, oh, can't, you know.
Well, I mean, if Miss Johnson came out on a stripper pole ripping her clothes off, at somebody's balcony, and then the boys are sitting there on the couch looking at her, that would be one thing. Like, yeah, I would be wondering a little bit about the movie rating and what they're talking about. I mean, it's not like she was like I can see maybe like when she was attracted to the teacher, like that whole skit, like you know how I'm feeling, or you know what I'm feeling, like that whole exchange. I can see her like, having a crush on him and giving him the little eyes and shadow and stuff like that. That was cool. But then like when the dude's like just literally like going like BET Uncut over there on the top of the on top of the building, I was like, whoa, cover your eyes.
Well,
like,
this ain't Disney. Look, you want Disney, you can watch Dumbo again, okay?
Oh God, no.
You had to take this one there. Last thing, the movie just had a couple of how should I say, loose ends that didn't make sense. But again, for me, it was funny enough that a lot of that stuff didn't really bother me. But it's like, okay, first of all, does she not take showers in the morning? Like, if I woke up, okay, and I was taking a shower, and my parts were the same size as my parts were back when I was 13, I would notice. There would be questions. Does she not? Are you telling me that a woman, particularly one that seems to pride herself on her attractiveness as much as she does, did not look in the mirror one time? Like it was weird to me that the only way she found out that she was a child is that she went out in public, and then she looked at a reflection and realized that she was a child. Like to me, yeah, you're definitely going to recognize that you're a child before you walk out the door. I don't know, that was weird. And then dangling storyline, like what happened to the Child Protective Services Agency? Like, how are they going to explain what happened to young Jordan? Like, it was such a big deal. You got to get Jordan in school, but now she's gone. She's disappeared. Like, somebody murdered her. Like, how are you going to explain that? How are you really going to explain how this child is gone now? What happened to the nosy neighbor? And of course, what happened to? He's literally called Hot Teacher. That's his name on.
That's his name?
Yeah. Wow. What happened to Hot Teacher? Like, he could have showed up at the end somewhere, and that could have fixed that. But other than that, again, I really enjoyed the movie. I think people should see it. I think it's probably an underrated movie. What closing thoughts there, Frank? Should people see this movie?
Yeah, but not in the theaters. Wait till it comes on BET. Yeah, there's a lot of missing points in the movie, a lot of continuity issues. They got their continuity coordinator behind the movie did a horrible job of that. Just wait till it comes on BET, and you can watch it every spring when it comes on there.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and close out. So at this point, I'll go ahead and toss it back to Mr. Chuck Taylor here. Oh, well, first of all, let me say real quick, if you like what we did, make sure to give us a like. Leave a comment. Is this movie too provocative, maybe, or is it just right? Let us know. As usual, you've got to subscribe to survive. Now I can pass it over to Color Commentary. And of course, what he's going to say is, this is Color Commentary, where we give you views from a different side.
And it's gotta be